proactively to protect your profits. Yeah. Now, this idea of pivoting and incremental pivoting is something which has been, it's something which is a buzzword in Silicon Valley right now. And the reason why it's a buzzword in Silicon Valley is because, going back to the Instagram example, when Instagram first set up less than 2 years ago now, maybe just about 2 years ago now, the business was set up, and the idea was that I would take a picture in London Met, and I would pin that picture to this location. So what would happen is John or Andy or someone else would come along to that location, and they could see who's pinned pictures to that location. So that was the idea, and they had a few filters as part of the kind of add-on thing that they thought. They realised that people weren't really pinning as much as they thought, but people were really using the filters. They were really sharing on Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, Tumblr, all these kinds of things. Instead of doing what a traditional company would do, a traditional technology company would do, and that is to force your content and your idea, reinforce it back onto your users and your consumers, they didn't do that. They pivoted away from their original model, and they started to develop what people were actually using and actually doing with their technology. Which is the reason why companies like Facebook and YouTube and Google, why they seem to still feel relevant. Twitter and all these guys, they still seem to feel relevant because they're constantly pivoting, not based on what they think, but based on what they can see users doing. They can see what people are doing, and they're pivoting their technology and their business models accordingly. In a similar way, when Facebook trying to monetize, I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, they started to stick adverts on your wall. That's what they did. They didn't ask them to put adverts on the wall. And everybody, there was a massive outcry. I forgot what the project was called. Massive outcry. Within the week, they pulled it. They just pulled it. They didn't do what MySpace would have done, which was like, no, there's advertising there, it's not going away. We signed it off, we had a meeting, that's it. Right? The adverts are staying whether you like it or not. Because that would work, that used to work. Facebook knew, looking at how big entities like MySpace could crumble so quickly, they knew, you know what, we don't really want to get on the wrong side of our users. We don't really want to do that. So what we'll do is, so they just pulled it. So the amount of investment and time that they would have put, trust me, it would have been a lot of meetings, a lot of data, a lot of analysis. Yeah, the adverts will be fine. Mark, trust me, they'll be all right, it'll work. We'll make loads of money from doing this. Mark signs it off. Literally within about 3 or 4 days, they pulled it, and they made a public apology, and Mark apologised. Sorry?
What was the advert?
No, it was just advertising. So now the advertising is down the right-hand side.
Yes.
But before that, it was actually on your wall in the middle with your friend, with your feed. People hated that, with a passion. So they pulled it, and that demonstrates a kind of new way. It demonstrates that they had to pivot very quickly. Because they would have promised their investors and their shareholders all the time, promised their investors, look, we found a way to monetize, please, we need to draw down some more money, we found a way to monetize, this is going to work, and it didn't. So they had to quickly pivot and pivot again, and then put the ads down the side. This is what I've told you. Right, so this is very important. Now, the reason why companies are able to pivot, especially technology companies, is because, is anyone doing anything in technology or would like to do anything in technology? Okay, one guy at the back, right, you are the champion for technology in London Met. It's because, the reason why they're able to do that today is because what would have taken 2 years to develop any kind of software, because of new methods like agile programming and all this kind of stuff, instead of taking 2 years, it can take 3 months. They can shorten the development cycle down so quickly that it means that they can test the market really quickly as well, yeah, and get a response. And if something doesn't work, instead of taking another 2 years, they can do it in 2 months. Yeah, so that's why they're kind of able to do that and get away with it, and it works quite well.